Imagine losing 70% of your income overnight. That's exactly what happened to professional translators around the world. And the reason? A technology that's learning from their own work. But here's the twist, some of them are being asked to help train the very AI that's taking their jobs away. Would you do it? Today, you're going to learn practical A2-B2 English while exploring a story that affects millions of workers globally. We'll discover useful vocabulary about work, technology, and big life changes, words and phrases you can use in your own career conversations. We'll meet translators who've watched their careers transform dramatically, and we'll find out what this means for the future of work. This isn't just about translation, it's about how AI is changing professional life for everyone. Welcome to Lady Show English. And trust me, you'll want to hear what these translators discovered about fighting back. Before we dive into the full story, let me give you a quick preview of the super useful English you'll learn today. First, we'll explore the phrase, dig your own grave, a powerful expression about doing something that hurts your own future. You'll also learn the word livelihood, which is a more sophisticated way to talk about how you earn money to live. We'll look at on principle, a phrase that shows you're making decisions based on your values, not just convenience. And here's an important one, upend, which means to completely change or disrupt something. You'll also master phrases like dry up for when work or opportunities disappear, and make layoffs for the difficult business decision of reducing staff. Plus, we'll cover retrain, something many professionals are considering right now. But here's what makes this even better, all these words come from real situations that people face in their careers today. Stick around, because knowing how to use these expressions could help you talk about your own professional challenges in English. Ready to hear the full story? Let's go. Timothy McKeon had a good career. For years, he worked as an Irish language translator for European Union institutions. It was steady work, the kind of job you could rely on. But then everything changed. Here's what happened. AI translation tools started getting better and better. These tools could translate text instantly, and they kept improving. And guess what happened next? McKeon's work started disappearing. He lost about 70% of his income when the EU translation work dried up. But here's the surprising part. The work that remained wasn't traditional translation anymore. Instead, clients wanted him to polish and fix machine-generated translations. These are translations that AI creates, and humans just clean them up. And McKeon refuses to do this kind of work on principle. Why does he refuse? Listen to this carefully. When translators edit AI-generated text, that corrected work gets fed back into the translation software. The AI learns from it. The more it learns, the more obsolete you become, McKeon explained. He described it perfectly, you're essentially expected to dig your own professional grave. This is the emotional part. Imagine being asked to train the technology that's taking away your career. How would that feel? But McKeon isn't alone in this struggle. While workers worldwide wonder how AI might affect their jobs, a hot topic at the World Economic Forum in Davos, translators are already living this reality. It's not hypothetical for them anymore. A 2024 survey in the United Kingdom revealed shocking numbers. More than a third of translators had lost work because of generative AI. And 43% said their income had dropped because of this technology. Wait for this part. Research from Oxford University found that roughly 28,000 more translator jobs would have been created in the United States without machine translation. Carl Fry, a researcher at Oxford, told reporters. It's not a story of mass displacement, but I think that's very likely to follow. In other words, the worst might still be coming. McKeon is part of the Guerrilla Media Collective, an international group of translators. And here's the real situation: everyone in the collective now needs to supplement their income with other work because translation alone isn't enough anymore. But the story doesn't end there. In Wisconsin, Christina Green faces a different kind of threat. She's a court interpreter and president of Green Linguistics, a language services company. A new bill could allow courts to use AI translation in legal proceedings, even in criminal cases. And this surprised everyone. Green's company recently lost a major Fortune 10 client. This client chose a company offering AI translation instead. The client was such a large part of Green's business that she had to make layoffs. She had to let people go. Green worries about the future. People and companies think they're saving money with AI, but they have absolutely no clue what it is, how privacy is affected, and what the ramifications are. Here's where it gets emotional. Fardas Babu, an Arabic language translator in London, has watched her written work reduce considerably in recent years. She's also studying for a PhD, researching how technology impacts translators. Listen to this sentence carefully. Baba said, "I worry a great deal that governments are not doing enough to help them transition into other work, which could lead to greater inequality, in-work poverty, and child poverty." This is important. Many translators are now looking to retrain, to learn completely new skills, because translation isn't generating the income it once did. Ian Giles from the UK's Translators Association confirmed this trend. In the United States, many translators are leaving the profession entirely. But here's the interesting part. At the World Economic Forum, Kristalina Georgieva, head of the International Monetary Fund, shared that translator numbers at the fund had dropped from 200 to just 50 due to technology. However, there's still hope. Despite these advances, AI can't replace human translators entirely, at least not yet. Andy Benzo, president of the American Translators Association, explained that while AI works fine for everyday tasks like finding directions, human translators are still needed for diplomatic, legal, financial, and medical work where the risks are humongous. "I'm a translator and a lawyer," Benzo said, "and in both professions the nuance of each word is very specific and the AI tools aren't there yet, by far." Here's another ray of hope. Literary translation, translating books and creative writing, remains relatively untouched by machine translation. Giles, who translates commercial fiction, said his literary commissions continue to come in, even though corporate translation work has disappeared. And here's the final important point. Carl Fry from Oxford University reminds us that AI can't replace human connection. The fact that machine translation is pervasive doesn't mean you can build a relationship with somebody in France without speaking a word of French, he said. So what does all this mean? The translation industry is transforming, but human expertise still matters, especially where precision, creativity, and human connection are essential. Now let's break down the most useful English from this story. These are words and phrases you can use in your own life, especially when talking about work and career changes. First, let's talk about livelihood. This word means the way you earn money to support yourself and your family. It's more formal and meaningful than just saying job or work. In our story, we heard how AI had upended his livelihood. This means AI completely disrupted and changed the way he made a living. Think of upend like flipping a table over, everything gets turned upside down. Here's a life example. The pandemic upended many people's livelihoods, forcing them to find new ways to earn money. You could also say, she's worried that automation might threaten her livelihood. This is perfect for discussing economic changes, career concerns, or talking about job security with friends or colleagues. Can you think of other situations where someone's livelihood might be threatened or upended? Maybe changes in technology, economic downturns, or industry shifts? Think about it. Ready for the next one? Let's look at dry up. When work dried up for McKeon, it means it disappeared or became much less available. Imagine a river that dries up in the summer, the water is gone. It's the same with opportunities or work. The phrase appeared in our story, he lost about 70% of his income when the EU translation work dried up. In everyday life, you might say, during the economic recession, job opportunities really dried up. Or, my freelance work has dried up lately, so I need to find new clients. This works great when discussing business slowdowns, lack of opportunities, or when explaining why you're job hunting. Here's a question for you. In your field of work or study, what might cause opportunities to dry up? Maybe seasonal changes, economic conditions, or technological shifts? Here comes an even better one. On principle is a wonderful phrase that shows you're making a decision based on your beliefs and values, not just what's convenient or profitable. McKeon refused to edit AI translations on principle because he felt it was wrong to help train the technology replacing human translators. Life examples: I don't shop at that store on principle because they treat their workers poorly. Or, she refused the promotion on principle because she disagreed with the company's environmental policies. You can use this when explaining moral or ethical decisions in work situations, consumer choices, or political discussions. Think about this: what's something you've done or refused to do on principle? It could be about work, shopping, relationships, or daily choices. You'll like the next one even more. Dig your own grave, or the longer version, dig your own professional grave, is a powerful idiom. It means doing something that will harm your own future or career. The image is clear: you're creating the hole you'll fall into. McKeon said, "You're essentially expected to dig your own professional grave" when describing how editing AI translations trains the system to replace you. Everyday examples. By always saying yes to your boss and never setting boundaries, you're digging your own grave, you'll burn out. Or, he's digging his own grave by badmouthing his colleagues at work. This phrase works when warning someone about self-destructive behavior, discussing poor career decisions, or talking about office politics. Small task for you: besides the work situations we mentioned, where else might someone dig their own grave? Relationships? Health habits? Financial decisions? Ready for the next useful phrase? Make layoffs is a business term that means a company reduces its workforce by letting employees go, usually for economic reasons. Green had to make layoffs after losing her major client. Notice we say make layoffs, not do layoffs. You might hear, the company announced it would make significant layoffs next quarter. Or, after the merger, they had to make layoffs to reduce costs. This is essential vocabulary for discussing business news, economic trends, or unfortunately, if you're affected by company restructuring. Here's my question: what do you think companies should do before making layoffs? Maybe try other cost-cutting measures? Offer early retirement? What's fair? Here's the last important one. Retrain means to learn new skills for a different job or career, usually because your current field is changing or disappearing. Many translators are looking to retrain because their income has dropped significantly. Real-life examples. After working in retail for 10 years, she decided to retrain as a nurse. Or, the government is offering programs to help coal miners retrain for renewable energy jobs. This word is crucial when discussing career changes, adaptation to technology, or talking about professional development. Final question: if you had to retrain for a completely different career tomorrow, what would you choose and why? Think about transferable skills you already have. Wow, we covered a lot today. Let's do a quick recap of the 3 most useful A2-B2 English points you learned. First, we explored livelihood and upend, great words for talking about careers and major disruptions. Second, you picked up practical phrases like dry up, on principle, and dig your own grave for real-life work situations. And third, you learned key business terms like make layoffs and retrain, which you'll hear all the time in today's job market. Here on Ladies Show English, we focus on real English that native speakers actually use, not just exam vocabulary. So here's my challenge for you. If today's lesson helped you talk about work and career changes with more confidence, leave a heart in the comments. Even better, share this video with one friend who's also learning English or thinking about their career. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next lesson. We'll be covering another trending topic that's impacting jobs worldwide, packed with practical English you can use right away. See you in the next video.